Hello everyone, and welcome to Raz-Lee Security's GUI Queries and Reports demo. First, let's look at why Raz-Lee Security decided a long time ago to provide the best and most robust product on the market for generating queries and reports. We all know that during the past few years, auditors have become increasingly empowered and have been given appropriate budget to provide management at all levels with all the auditing and compliance reports they need to prove that regulations and policies are being adhered to. To do their job, auditors need to be able to easily generate ad hoc reports and schedule these reports to run at preset times and dates. Reports need to be easily configurable to site standards, policies, and naming conventions, and should be emailed to lists of recipients as easily opened attachments, HTML, PDF, Excel, etc. And at the top of the wish list is auditors' expectation that as many of the required reports will be supplied with the system they purchased, with the need perhaps for only slight last-minute adaptations as required. The importance of such activities can't be underestimated, since hacking, which is getting easier each day, is not only a sport, it's also being used by disgruntled employees to get back at their employers. So let's look at a typical scenario regarding queries and reports. Our system administrator says to herself, well, everyone wants audit reports, but there are millions of Q audit journal records out there. How do I make sense out of all that data? I'd probably have to write a separate program for every report that I need. However, with iSecurity GUI queries and reports, she can easily generate, run, and schedule reports and even clone supplied reports and satisfy auditors, management, and security personnel. Reports can even be emailed or saved as output for later reference. In fact, with iSecurity GUI queries and reports, becoming and remaining secure and compliant is really very easy. I mentioned report formats which are emailed as attachments. We see the email here at the bottom, which can have an HTML report as an attachment, or a CSV report, or a report in PDF format. Schematically then, iSecurity, Firewall, and Audit have built-in queries, and individual products all have the ability for the user to define their own queries. We supply a report generator and scheduler, the best on the market, through which users can execute queries over single or multiple systems. And output is produced in one of four manners. Output can be displayed on green screens or GUI workstations. They can go to spool files to be printed. Reports can go to IFS storage and viewed in the GUI, emailed PDF, HTML, CSV attachments, or queries can be stored as native database files and viewed either with the iSecurity FileScope product or with native database viewers, or alternatively, they can be viewed as GUI tables and then printed or exported as Excel, CSV, HTML, PDF, or ODF format. So in this demo, we're going to review the built-in queries supplied with iSecurity, and we'll look at the data sources for queries, in particular Firewall and Audit, look at a bit at the types of queries that are supplied with the product. We'll adapt a built-in query to site-specific requirements. We'll run a query, we'll schedule a query, and then we'll access executed reports. So bringing up the GUI then, we see here on the left the navigation tree with various products, antivirus, audit, capture, firewall, our journal product, etc., as well as other capabilities such as business intelligence, central administration, and over here, queries and reports. I've already opened some of the screens. We're looking here at audit queries. The Z, $A, etc. audit queries are those that we supply with the product. All queries beginning with Z are supplied with iSecurity. And the next two letters signify the audit type. Audit type, for example, AD, AP, AU for authorities, of course, etc., etc. All audit types beginning with $, are iSecurity specific audit types. $A for user profiles, $B for objects, etc., etc. $G for groups, $J for jobs, which have been run, either interactive or batch jobs, etc. If we look at a particular report, perhaps we'll open this report, IBM profiles without a password. We see that the report can be run in a certain time group, during working hours or outside of working hours. Items to include, we have the possibility of filtering the data so that we, in this case, we report only if the password of *none equals yes. In other words, there is no password. We can add a filter should we wish to do so. For example, we see here all the different fields, the header fields and the data fields, and we can simply, for example, check the user class and to see whether or not the user class is an item within a particular group. And in this manner, it's very, very easy for us to build groups and items and check to see if in this particular query does the user class belong to this particular user group. If we do an OK, we now have a multiple filter which will be used for this particular query. We can set output fields as you would expect. We can add a certain field to as selected fields, change the appearance, the sequence of the output field in the report itself. We can set sort fields, user profile name, for example, etc. Reports can be run, and in this case, as I said earlier, they can be viewed either with the internal viewer or in Excel. Alternatively, reports can be stored on the IFS in various formats, perhaps mailed to a user as attachments, or reports can be stored as native database objects. Reports can be scheduled. Our scheduler is a proprietary product, of course, of Raz-Lee. We've set up 3 different groups: monthly, weekday, and weekly. Let's select weekday. This set of reports will run on different weekdays. And we see here that the report has automatically been added to the list of reports which will run on weekdays. So we've seen here the audit scheduler as well. If we open the scheduler, we see that this particular report will be run indeed as we defined. If we look at the group itself and open that, we see that indeed the report will be run weekly on all working days, Monday through Friday, at this particular time. So we've seen then, getting back to our PowerPoint, we've reviewed a bit the built-in queries. We've adapted a query to site-specific requirements, as you recall, using group item. We set the parameters to run a query. We've scheduled the query. Let's now see how we access executed reports. We have the database reports and the IFS reports. If we look at database reports, for example, we see that database reports will run on these days. We can open any node and view any of the reports here. For example, on March 24th, users whose passwords are more than 60 days old. I've already opened the report. This is the report that was produced. I can select a subset of entries very easily and either print or export the report in various formats, as you can see here. So these then are database reports. IFS reports, basically in the same manner. These are stored on the IFS. And, for example, March 2nd, a report of the query called $A underscore same password. The report appears here. This was opened in Excel format. When I double-click on this entry, the report automatically opens as Excel, and I have the report here, and I can actually work on this report or do whatever I want. For example, set auto filter or whatever based upon the capabilities of Excel. So once again, this is a demo of the GUI queries and reports. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email us at marketing@razlee.com. Thank you very much.